AfterBuzz TV, starting place to the likes of WWE female superstars Kathy Kelly, Sonya Deville, and Zelina Vega proudly presents Women's Wrestling Weekly, the world's first podcast and YouTube series dedicated exclusively to women's wrestling, featuring all the latest news as well as interviews with top superstars in the industry. And now, AfterBuzz TV's own gorgeous lady of wrestling, TK Trinidad.
Bonjour, you're watching Women's Wrestling Weekly, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet. My name is TK Trinidad, aka the Canadian Assassin, and I am not alone. She hails from the Valley, aka the farmer's daughter. Please welcome Emily Mae.
Hi.
How are you doing today?
I'm good. It's another week of women's wrestling.
The excitement is it's very uncanny. Okay, I like that. So we're going to do Star of the Week. We're going to do a lot of other things, but the show's known for guests and amazing female wrestlers, and today is no exception. She is an actress. She is a musician. She is a WOW superhero. Please welcome the Lioness, aka Faith. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm amazing. How are you?
Good. So let's get into it. I saw you, maybe a year and a half ago at the Belasco. You were absolutely amazing. Your stage presence was great. You're amazing in the ring. So how did you come about this? Because not only you're a wrestler, you're also a musician. So it seems like you were a musician before you became a wrestler. So how did this wrestling thing come about?
Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate it. So I started in the entertainment industry. And I started with martial arts when I was about 4 years old. And the reason my mom put me in that is because when I was 2, she put me in dance. And I wasn't paying attention. I was in the corner doing my own thing. And so she was like, you need discipline and you need some help. And to learn how to fight would be dope. So she put me in Taekwondo, and I continued with that. And then straight out of high school, I was like, I'm not going to go to college. I want to find something, that I'm passionate about. So I continued making music and dance and acting and everything. But my mom actually came across a casting call for WOW Women of Wrestling. And I went to the audition and was just like, you know what? I'm going to just put myself out there, see what happens. And meeting everyone at the audition, Selena, David, everyone was super cool. And I automatically felt a connection. So then I went to the callback, which was in the ring, and once I took that first bump, I was like, dang, I love this. Because it's like, it's all your problems outside of the ring, and everything you're going through just disappears. And the only thing that matters is what you're doing in that moment in wrestling. So that's how I got into it.
That's amazing.
Very tied-in story.
I know.
I like it.
I had to,
Yeah. So when you took that first bump, and then they offered you this WOW experience, like what was that like leading up to it, and like when you started really training, what was that like for you?
Honestly, it was a very surreal moment, because being in the entertainment industry and going through acting and going to constant casting calls where they're looking for a specific look, you have to look a certain way. I've gotten a lot of rejection, my whole life, when it comes to, you're too tall, you're too thick, you're too this, you're too that. And so it's like with WOW, they embody who you really are. And I feel like once I heard that one yes after tons of no's, it's just so like, yes, it's so empowering as a woman, and finally finding something where I could be myself, basically. And throughout training, Selena Majors, aka Bambi, she's amazing. She's taken me under her wing and really taught me, pretty much everything I know now, So the very first summer that I started training before the first season on Access TV, which plug in, you can find Women of Wrestling, Access TV every Saturday night. And so I actually slept at the training center, so I lived 2 hours away from the training center, and I was just like, hey, and I didn't have my own car yet, because when I started, I was like 17. So 17 or 18, and I'm saving up. It's hard out here. This is a struggle, but
it's true.
It's okay.
Yeah,
we gotta make it happen. We had to make it happen. So, so I basically stayed at the training center and with Selena, getting and absorbing as much information as I possibly can. Of course, there's those moments where there's obviously pain, blood, sweat, and tears, where it's like, dang, this hurts. Like, Jesus. But then it's all worth it in the end, and like especially going out for the match and finishing the match, that feeling right there is what it's all about.
So yeah, take us to that. Your intro for WOW is, like I
Mm-hmm.
said before, absolutely amazing. So you practiced it, you have everything, ready. Now you're getting ready to present this to an audience. What was that feeling like?
Thank you. Honestly, I was just so excited and so blessed that they allowed me to even share that part of me, because a big goal for me is to intertwine the wrestling with the music. And really, I just wanted to bring people together. And I feel that with that happening, I wanted to come in with something different. And I was a little nervous at first to how people would react and what they would think. I felt like they would be confused, but that's okay in my opinion, because I mean, if you're confused, you're going to want to look into it more. So it's just like, why is she doing that? You know what I'm saying? So I was just super excited and super grateful for my friends, Melanie and Miranda, their sisters, and super amazing dancers. I was grateful that I was able to bring them out with me. We call them my lion cubs, or lion pride. So,
Nice.
yeah. So, I mean, it was just so much fun. And every time I perform, like either wrestling or music wise, I just get a tunnel vision, and like it's just an amazing feeling that it's super hard to even describe. So I mean, getting prepared for that, I mean, I was nervous, but I was excited. But once you get out there, the adrenaline starts pumping, and it's just all good vibes.
Now, who developed your character? Was it a combination of you and David, or was this the vision that you had during when you started training? How did that come about?
Yeah, so originally they had thought of me as a different character that was more of like the beachy girl, ocean surfer vibe.
Like a California girl type thing?
Yes, yeah. But then
Yeah.
they got to know me and they were like, "You are not that." And I was like, yeah. And me being me, I'm open to anything and any suggestions they have, of course. But then once they realize that I'm not that, we have to think of something else. Actually, my family and we came up with the Lioness, Faith the Lioness. And Faith is my real name. And we just put it together with the Lioness because I'm a Leo. And they've always taught me to just have the heart of a lion. You got to have thick skin. And loyalty is huge for me. And just being strong and having that strength and no fear. And even if you lose, you stand back up and try again. So it's just like that mentality of a lion is kind of what we suggested. And at first they were kind of like, okay, we have to dig deep into it more. And I explained like I would love to it's basically an exaggerated version of myself. I mean, my middle name is extra, so I mean, so not really, but you know what I mean. So, like,
what's your middle name?
What's your middle name?
What your middle name is?
It's Murray, but my middle name is Murray, but it could have been extra. But anyway, so I mean, coming out with the big, fur coat, which represents my mane, obviously with the hair and the rhinestones, all it was a collaboration for sure, though. So once I pitched that idea, we kind of just started throwing back and forth like different ideas to really put the character together. And it came out to be, I think, great, so yeah.
Now, what has the feedback been since WOW debuted on television from, friends or people that you don't even know, following you on Twitter and social media, etc.?
Yeah, I mean, it's been very great feedback, and a lot of people were actually surprised, like it came out of nowhere, because I don't like to promote or talk about things until they're like really happening. So I kind of kept it a little bit of a secret aside from my like super good friends and stuff, and of course people that I wanted to come to the show. But as soon as I really posted about it, people were like, "What? You wrestle? That's crazy!" And I was like, "A little bit. I'm learning, But I've gotten super good feedback as far as on social media and in real life. And I just feel like it's all good energy. People have been given very positive feedback, so.
That's great. You've had some amazing trainers, and there's amazing women in WOW. Have they given you some advice because you're in your inaugural year?
Oh, yeah. So many amazing veterans that I've been able to train with. And they've basically just told me to find my own style, and everything that I do, like, I have to make it my own, basically. And just to have no fear and keep it up, basically. There's a few friends that I have in AEW and just different wrestling leagues as well that I've been fortunate to get advice from. And of course, Selena, like I mentioned, Tessa Blanchard, you know, so many veterans, Malaya, like, they've all helped me shape the wrestler that I am right now, and I'm still learning, and it's just an amazing environment to be in.
So now the ultimate goal for wrestling, because it you know, we heard you have a song, you have quite a few songs that are that came out, and you have more music coming out. So is your ultimate goal to blend the two, or what's your ultimate goal with your career in general?
In general, I mean, first of all, I would love to get that Woman of Wrestling belt. So that's definitely a goal of mine. And so just to continue wrestling and continue making music. And honestly, I really don't know what the future holds, but what I would like to happen is to blend the two and kind of go on tour, because I mean, just maybe I gotta go to this wrestling match, and then I gotta go perform at this place in New York, or just as an example. But like, you know, that type of thing, like, that would be one of my just huge goals. And then also eventually lead into action films and do like a superhero movie, or, you know, something like Tomb Raider. Like, that would be super cool. So yeah, I like I said, the future is not predictable, and I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing and see what happens.
That would be I'm gonna say when, because I am a fellow Leo too, and we just make things happen. That would be the ultimate, like, you would be the first female wrestler and wrestler in general to do that, because you have Jericho, who is a musician and a wrestler, and then obviously you have The Rock and John Cena, who are wrestlers and actors, but the blend of all three, I can't think of anyone, male or female, that has done that.
We need to find a superhero musical movie. We need to just do it all.
On the WOW side, it says that you're a published author. So, I mean, you can add writing the script to that movie, too.
Yeah, that is very
do
true.
it all.
I would love to do that. And I mean, I write all my own music as well, so I feel like, I don't know, I've always loved writing. So whatever it is, I'll try.
Now, is there any, I don't know if you can talk about this part as far as your contract with WOW. Are you able to go into other promotions as well? Or are you exclusive with WOW, or how does that work out as far as, you know, you learning more and becoming a better wrestler and, you know, putting your name on the map?
I mean, they are open to me exploring other avenues, but honestly, my loyalty is with WOW, and like I said, I've learned everything I know from them. And I mean, if something were to come up where they were to suggest, if I were to learn from a certain trainer or go here, then of course I would do it. But like I said, my loyalty is with WOW, and we're just going to keep on going on Access TV every Saturday night.
I love it. Plugging it.
I love those plugs.
Do you have some dream matches that you can see for the future?
Actually, so this Saturday is one of my dream matches with Tessa Blanchard, so make sure to tune in to that. And as far as other women in WOW, I would say dream matches would be Havoc, one as a tag team with Fire and Adrenaline, and let's see, I think to take on Voodoo and Holodead, especially in the spirit of Halloween being tomorrow, that would be pretty cool, and try to see if my Lioness vibes can take over their evil spiritual vibe. So that would be, an interesting match. So, yeah.
Now, any advice that because David McLean has been a pioneer in wrestling, among other things, for decades. So is there any advice that he's given to you that you've taken in your, I want to say entertainment, but I'm including wrestling in that, for your entertainment career?
Advice that's been given to me. I mean, so many people always give me advice, and I like to soak in any advice that people have to say, whether it's critics and haters to positive advice, you know, because I feel it all contributes to who I am. Some of it, I'm just a priest, like, okay, cool, but it don't really make sense. I'm gonna just leave that there. Some of it, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna take that. But specifically, I would say from Selena, she's given me so much advice about even just life in general, and she's just taught me to just stay in my own lane and not worry about what people are saying, and continue on being me, and continue training and being the lioness, not being afraid of anything, and knowing that it's all going to be all right in the end, and keep on going.
Now, in the industry, you have people who, they naturally put people into stereotypes or boxes. Have you felt that being in the industry, and how have you combat that?
Oh, for sure. I mean, people always assume, well, first of all, when they first look at me, they don't think that I would be posting these boxing videos like I do. So then when they see that, they're like, oh, so people have put me in a box where I can, or you know what? People have said, so you have to pick one thing. Would you pick wrestling or music or this, or like acting or something? And I'm like, well, I don't have to choose one thing, like, why? Because I always say the more you learn, the more you earn. And putting me in a box to where I can only choose one, I'm going to break that box, because that is not true. So for anybody out there that thinks that they can only do one thing, it's not true. But, I do agree with, you must hone in and focus on one thing to really get good at it. But the thing is, putting in time for each of the things that you love, then that way you can grow everything and become the best you can in anything you want to.
So there's been word of new music coming out. Do you have a date for that?
We do not have an exact date yet. I have a lot of written and recorded songs, and we're putting together the first album right now. So, things will be announced on my social media. You can follow my wrestling account, WOW_The Lioness, and my personal and music account at Real Faith Music on everything. So, it'll all be posted there, and just stay tuned.
Thank you so much. So what we're going to do now is something called Rapid Hot Tags.
Women's Wrestling Rapid Hot Tags.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you a question, then you're going to say the first thing that comes to your mind. Ready?
Okay. Yes.
All right. Always early or always late?
Late.
Last person you text?
Dad.
What is the one thing you love about yourself?
I'm psycho.
All right. Your favorite wrestler?
In a good way.
Your favorite wrestler?
Katie Forbes.
Nice. Oh my God, yeah, I love Katie. Who would play you in a movie?
Who would play me? Oh my gosh. Dakota Fanning.
I like that. Last show you binge watched?
Insatiable on Netflix.
If you can listen to one album for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Beyonce's Lemonade.
Oh my gosh, visually and it's just a beautiful album.
Yes.
I wholeheartedly agree with that too. Now, you did mention your dad. How did your family feel when you started wrestling, or you wanted to start wrestling?
They were super supportive, and they've always been supportive my whole life, and I'm really grateful for that. And they're just that great supportive system to where they'll push me to where I want to be, and they were super excited and wouldn't stop talking about it. So yeah.
It's a good thing about being a Leo. It's like when you put your mind to something, you're gonna do it. And
determined.
It's
like you're
determined.
Gonna finish.
And I feel like family members just like, well, if we tell her no, she's gonna do it anyway, so you might as well just be supportive and
exactly. But that's great. It's great you have your family.
You know, I get that from my parents. So
oh, there you go. Well, shout out to your parents, because definitely you work. You're a workhorse. You work hard. You're doing so much, and I definitely want to see you accomplish those 3 things, because, like I said, first ever, not even, you could take away the female part. If you were, when you accomplish that, that's going to be an amazing feat. So you're definitely in the right positioning.
Yes, we will be watching closely.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
No problem. Now, where can people find you again? Just in case they're not, you guys should be, but just in case they're not, where can they find you?
Yeah, so wrestling account is WOW_ The Lioness. Also, the WOW Superheroes Instagram is at WOW Superheroes, and you can contact us there. As well as my personal, where you can find some of my music and stuff coming up at Real Faith Music on everything.
There you have it.
And make sure to check out Access TV on Saturday nights, Women of Wrestling.
There you have it. Thank you so much for hopping on. We appreciate it. Oh my gosh.
I love her so much.
She's amazing. If you guys are in Los Angeles when they have the live taping,
yes, you have to go
definitely
see WOW.
have to check it out. I mean, every wrestler there has an amazing character, and it's just how they put it together.
And the costumes and production quality is just so over the top in a good way.
Yeah.
That it's incredible.
Yeah. So we're gonna hit the star of the week real quick.
All right.
Pro Wrestling Star of the Week.
All right, one of the newest women to grace the stage of NWA Power has made her appearance against Ashley Vox. Marty Bell is our star of the week. She has over 10 years of independent wrestling experience, and has worked for such companies as Evolve, Shimmer, Shine Wrestling, Women's Superstars Uncensored, and this year she started her big NWA Power experience and trying to get her title belt. I like her innovation. She's innovative, she's fresh. I like that she's authentic. She brings a whole new energy to NWA, and that's why she's our star of the week.
There you have it. Marty Bell has been on the show. She's absolutely amazing. I think we got her right after she was on Mae Young, which I'm still kind of heated about that there was none this year. But whatever. Well, hopefully WWE has something planned.
For another day, we'll talk about it.
Hopefully they have something planned or some big announcement that's going to shock me. But, it is what it is. But definitely shout out to Marty Bell. I think she was on a reality show last year.
Yeah.
So she's just constantly working, constant professional. So
wish
her the best.
And like this week, she had her big match against Ashley Vox. She didn't win, but I think she did an amazing promo.
Yeah.
And I just love her energy, and she's super real, and I like how it just contrasts some of the other promos you see out there and some of the wrestlers.
Definitely professional.
She's in my heart. I like her.
Shout out to Marty Bell.
Marty Bell.
Now, where can people find you, Miss Emily Mae?
So you can find me on Twitter and Instagram, all over at Emily Mae Heller.
And thank you guys for joining us. We really, really appreciate it. Without you guys, we wouldn't be the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet, and that is fact, not fiction. Look it up.
Fact.
You can follow us on everything at WPW Weekly. If you're watching us on YouTube, make sure to hit that subscribe button. If you're listening to us on other podcast places, Spotify, etc., make sure to leave a comment on iTunes, 5 stars or better. Other than that, my name is TK Trinidad. You can find me on everything at TK Trinidad. Till next week, guys. Ciao.
From executive producer Kevin Undergaro, producer TK Trinidad, and me, Maria Menounos, we would like to thank you for tuning in to Women's Wrestling Weekly. To help TK, the crew, and women's wrestling in general, we ask that you subscribe, rate, and comment on Women's Wrestling Weekly at Apple Podcasts, and subscribe to our AfterBuzz TV wrestling channel on YouTube for this and other outstanding wrestling content. Buzz you later.